friend me or I friended them, they then see that I wrote an article about coaching or whatever I'm writing the article about, and they go to the blog to see it, and then they got a chance to possibly opt in as a result. So this creates its own little ecosystem and its own set of incentives and its own set of opt-in lists in every one of these little pieces of social media, and also on the blog, ultimately. So again, I want to be clear that the traffic and the attention from these two areas come from two separate places. The blog, the traffic comes from search engines that just found me on the internet. They just found me in the ether, and they were like, hey, if you're searching for this guy wrote a blog post about it, right? So people hit the blog, and then if they don't opt in, maybe they'll join me on Twitter or Facebook. And in addition to that, we can proactively pursue people on Facebook and Twitter, etc., and get our list bigger on there, and then they'll go check out the blog because they're good prospects for us as well. So our blog builds our social media activities build our blog, and it's just an upward spiral that goes better and better and better, and then you're the king of the world or the queen of the world. I say that with a little bit of levity, of course, but hopefully you get the idea that this is a little ecosystem that you have to build. It's not just a blog, it's not just doing Twitter, it's both. It's both of those. That's what creates the value. Now, by the way, here's the other thing. On the blog as well, if you're really tech savvy, you might end up opting into what's called an RSS reader or opting into our RSS feed. Well, they call it a feed. And what RSS stands for is Real Simple Syndication. That just means that you might be interested in being able to read every single article that I write without having to go on my blog and see it. And you want to have it come in almost like an email fashion, but you don't want it to come in your email. And so they have these what we call RSS readers, and Yahoo's got one, and Google Reader is an RSS reader. That's the one I recommend. And you can actually use these little readers and insert a link, or I don't know exactly how they do it, but somehow you actually, every day that there is a new article, it'll pop up in your reader and you see, oh, hey, Coach's Training Blog has got a new article. I want to read that. And you can literally read it right inside your reader, ultimately. So it's like a blog that comes and finds you at Google Reader. So people can opt into the RSS feed as well. So there's lots of little lists, but ultimately the outcome here is to get that email and get them to opt in on the sidebar or the slide up onto the big list. So this little ecosystem also feeds our ultimate outcome that we're after here with the machine. And by the way, every one of these little lists, I can feed the big list via special events. So I can post, let's say, a special event on Facebook and say, hey, I'm having a Facebook event, and you can come to this event. And guess what? As you're logging into that event, I'm going to say, hey, you should, if you want to watch this other videos, you can come to my incentive site, and my incentive site, it will give you like 15 hours worth of free videos. And if you come to that site, you're going to have to opt in, right? So all these little special events that I could hold on these other places can guide traffic to a squeeze page or ask them to opt in order to be a part of the special event. There's all sorts of different ways to do it, but hopefully you understand that not just the blog is a place where people opt into our big list, but every one of these little lists can then be passed on to the big list as well, and that's something you want to include in your strategy. By the way, another item that you want to really get clear on and understand is that as we do launches create ideas because it's a dialogue. The surveys that I do, talking to people while they're buying the product, answering questions via email, checking out the comments that are on the different blogs and the comments that are on social media. All the activities of the launch gives us ideas and insight on what's going on with these really cool prospective clients that we're working with. And those ideas give us the understanding on how we can improve our blog and improve our social media and improve our incentives and improve our squeeze page. We understand our clients in a deeper and deeper way every time we do a launch. And as a result of that, we get better at building an even cooler machine that stays ahead of all our competition as well. So just don't forget, these launches are helpful for the top end of this machine, not just to produce some sales. Now, the interesting thing is, once you've built a bit of a list, you probably have heard of JVs or joint ventures. And the point with joint ventures is that there are thousands, basically intensively, there's infinite number of people out there that have got their own list, and they have your customers already. They have your prospects already. They have the right people that you want to touch, that you want to work with. They got that stuff already, and they're just waiting to talk to you, especially if you've got a list too, because they probably want to talk to your people on your list. That's why they would be open or willing to create a joint venture in the first place. So with joint ventures, they're ultimately going to send you traffic or people or whatever, and they'll send you people to opt in to your list because they've endorsed you and endorsed your incentives, let's say. Now, what you're going to do in order to get that to happen is you're going to create some special events, or somehow you're going to promote those joint ventures, and you're going to promote them with all the different lists that you have. So you're going to help them out, and then there's so many different joint ventures that you could have, so many different people that you can work with. This is, again, an ecosystem where you're helping them and they're helping you. And by the way, just to clarify, all your lists, every one of them, are lists that you can use to help endorse and ultimately promote the joint venture partners. So you don't just have to have a bunch of people on your central list. You can have some people on Facebook and Twitter, and you endorse this other person, and you can send them opt-ins from those lists as well. And once you do that, and you do that well, those joint ventures are going to want to have people opt in to your list also. They're going to help you out too. So it's just a reciprocation game, and it really does work. It produces sales. It produces opt-ins. It will grow your business. Okay, so hopefully that confused you just enough to get you wondering how to build this complex contraption. So I'm going to go through the steps of how to build the machine. So here's our machine, of course, as you just saw. So we're going to build these in phases. In the first phase, the real question you're asking, because there's usually a lot of uncertainty about this, is can I build a list? Can I just build a list at all? And so the first step you need to take is to set up this list and actually just start building it manually. Just go ahead and do it the old school way at first. Just set up the list, start adding people to the list. Step 2 is you're going to set up this resource blog, or you're going to create your incentives. I would suggest you set up a resource blog that'll house the incentives anyway, no matter what they are. So go ahead and set up that resource blog. That's step 2. And then finally, step 3 is you're going to set up your squeeze page and your PPC campaigns, your Google and Facebook ad campaigns, to drive traffic to that squeeze page that you set up so you can build lists to this incentive. And the goal for phase 1 is, let's say it's about 200 subscribers, just to get the ball rolling so you know you got some people that are on this list. And then you know, hey, if you can get 200 subscribers, you can get 2,000, you can get 200,000 eventually. Okay, let's take a break here. I'd like to invite you to go to coachestrainingblog.com, and once you put in your name and email address, you'll be taken to the blog where you can watch the rest of this video. And if you're interested in growing your coaching business and learning the specific plans on how I grew my business to over $30,000 a month, I know you'll want to watch the other free videos. And as you can imagine, there are a lot of other techniques we use beyond this one, and the other videos contain some of the higher level principles that will allow you to impact globally as a highly paid coach. You'll also be notified as I post new additions to our free digital video training library, along with case studies of coaches who went through our coaches training no more than a year ago and are now making $128,000 per year and beyond using our coaching quick start system. So again, simply go to coachestrainingblog.com and opt in to see the conclusion of this video. I'll talk to you again soon. Please share this with others, or even rate this video if you liked it. Even if you didn't, please share any questions you have in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think.